Welcome to the Word for Life podcast, a daily devotional covering the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
In Deuteronomy chapter 33, Moses blesses the tribes of Israel. First, Moses presents God as the king who came from Sinai. In verse 4, Moses says, God has holy ones, and all of them bow down before him. And also, as king, God gave instructions to his people through the law of Moses. Verse 5 we read, He was king over Jeshurun when the leaders of the people assembled, along with the tribes of Israel. So, because God is king, Moses knows that he will bless the tribes of Israel with protection from enemies and provisions in the land they are entering. In verse 6, Moses prays for Reuben. Let Reuben live and not die, nor his people be few. And about Judah, verse 7 we read, Lord, be his help against his foes. About the tribe of Levi, Moses remembers how they showed zeal for the Lord's commandments when Israel sinned with the Moabites. And Moses also remembers that the Levites are now teachers of the law and the ones who offer the sacrifices for Israel. Therefore Moses prays for special blessing on them. Verse 10 and 11 we read, He teaches your precepts to Jacob and your law to Israel. He offers incense before you and whole burnt offerings on your altar. Bless all his skills, Lord, and be pleased with the work of his hands. Strike down those who rise against him, his foes, till they rise no more. Similarly, Moses prays for protection and provision for all the other tribes. For example, in verse 12, he prays that God must protect Benjamin. Verse 12, Let the beloved of the Lord rest secure in him, for he shields him all day long, and the one the Lord loves rests between his shoulders. And about Joseph, in verse 17, In majesty, he is like a firstborn bull. His horns are the horns of a wild ox. With them he will gore the nations, even those at the ends of the earth. Such are the 10,000s of Ephraim, such are the thousands of Manasseh. And in verse 13, Moses prays, May the Lord bless his land with the precious dew from heaven above and with the deep waters that lie below. So we read this one specific blessing that Moses asks of the Lord, that is, protection from enemies and provision that the Lord needs to provide for his people in Canaan. You see, Moses knew that difficult days are ahead for Israel. They will meet powerful armies before they take possession of the land. And even after they take possession of the land, it is the Lord who has to bless them with all that they need. So, Moses' blessings emphasize on God's salvation, help, and protection. This is Moses' final encouragement to all Israel. Verse 26 to 29. There is no one like the God of Jeshurun, who rides across the heavens to help you, and on the clouds in his majesty. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. He will drive out your enemies before you, saying, Destroy them. So Israel will live in safety. Jacob will dwell secure in a land of grain and new wine, where the heavens drop dew. Blessed are you, Israel, who is like you, a people saved by the Lord. He is your shield and helper and your glorious sword. Your enemies will cower before you, and you will tread on their heights. Friends, believers today are also constantly fighting with spiritual enemies, and they need strength from the Lord. In Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12 and 13, Paul the Apostle informs us that there is a struggle that we will have every day, but there is a provision that God will give to us, and we can take that strength from the Lord and defeat our spiritual enemies. Verse 12 and 13 reads, For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand. Friends, we too are a blessed people. Believers know that God is their King, and He will save them from all their enemies, and He will provide all the resources that they need.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Word for Life podcast.